Greetings everybody, and welcome back to the channel. With WWE2K24 days away, I have decided to react to the overall ratings for every single WWE superstar in WWE2K24. I have been hearing a lot of people talking bad about the overall ratings, and I have seen some of them, and I'm not very happy with some. So I'm going to be sitting here watching this video from the 101. I've got the volume down so you can't hear anything. And I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on every single rating superstar in the game. And I'll tell you guys if I think it should be higher or if the overall rating they have is respectable and acceptable. So let's have a look. So he's just hit edit superstars, and now first up we have AJ Styles with an 85. I think AJ should at least be 90, at least. I think he should at least be 90. We have Akira Tozawa, he's a 68. I mean, 68 is pretty low for him, but, I'd never really play as Tozawa, so I wouldn't really be all that concerned about that overall rating. Alba Fire is a 74, and her frickin' render looks like she's a happy-go-lucky babyface. Her overall is 74. I mean, the way they've been booking her lately definitely does make her seem like a 74, but it's still way too low for someone like Alba Fire. I think she should at least be 80, 81, 82, in my humble opinion. Alexa Bliss, who has not been seen at all for over a year at this point, for at least a year at this point, they've given her an 83. She was 85, I think. She was 85 in 2K23. Now, here's the funny thing. Later on, there are wrestlers that were given low overalls because they were off TV. Alexa Bliss was not given a low overall. There are a few wrestlers that were given really low overalls because, they haven't been on TV. But Alexa only went down by 2 points. She only went down by 2 points. I don't know why she went down by 2 points, even though you'd think her overall should be at least in the 70s, considering she hasn't been on TV very often. But, no, I'm not going to be that picky about it. I mean, not that she deserves a 70 overall because she hasn't been on TV. I'm just saying, it's happened to some other people. Andre Chase is a 73. I guess that's kind of respectable for him, but I'm a bit picky. Not going to talk about the legends because their overalls don't matter. Angel Garza is a 67. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think he's a 67. Maybe at least make him 77 or 78. We've got Angelo Dawkins, who's 74. That's quite low for Angelo Dawkins. I'd put him at least 80. I would put him at least 80. Apollo Crews, 71. Apollo... Man, the fall from grace this guy has had since the pandemic, man. The fall and grace this guy had in the pandemic, man. He was so over. He was so good in the pandemic. Well, I can't say over because there's no fans. He was doing so good in the pandemic era, then he just went back to basically being in the same position that he was in. 71, I guess you could say that's a respectable overall for him, but I think he should at least be 84. Ashanti Theodonis is a 62. That is the lowest rating in the game, especially on the men's side. 62 is pretty respectable for him. Because, he's a joke. Oscar is a 90. Very good overall there. That's a very respectable overall. Perfect overall. I wouldn't change that at all. Austin Theory is a 72. I'm going to say that's a perfect overall for Austin Theory. Some may disagree with me, but I think that's a perfect overall for him. Axiom is a 73. Bad Bunny, no one's going to play as Bad Bunny unless you are a Bad Bunny fan. He's a 78. Baron Corbin is a 76. I mean, considering how Baron Corbin has well, I wouldn't say he's greatly improved, but considering NXT has basically been his revamp, I think 76 is a bit low. I think he should at least be 84 or 85, considering how NXT's really been, a resurgence for him. No, we're not going to talk about the legends. Bayley is an 85. I'd put her at 88. Becky Lynch is a 94. I mean, that's no surprise right there. That is no surprise right there for the man, Becky Lynch. Bianca Belair is a 95, so she's one overall higher. And considering she's on the deluxe edition, I'm not surprised they gave her a high overall. I think she had a pretty high overall in 2K23 as well. I think her overall is exactly the same. I think they gave her I think they gave her a 95 in 2K23 as well. I can't really remember for sure. But one of the things I'm hoping for is that the showcase outfits for like Bianca, Asuka, Charlotte, and Rhea, I'm hoping they're all just additional attires that you can put like on the character that is in the game. Like, I don't want them to be extra add-ons, like what you just saw with the Becky Lynch 19. Like, I don't want it to be extra add-ons. I don't want them to be extra slotted attires. I think they should all just be added to one attire slot. And I think that's the most frustrating thing about it, is that they always waste extra spots. Alright, well, we're not going to talk about that because that's DLC. Not going to talk about that. Big E. Now, here's what I was talking about before. Big E. His overall in 2K23, I think, was an 85 or 86. I think he was at least that high. But because he's been off TV for a year and a half, or maybe even a bit longer at this point, they dropped his overall to 78. And I don't agree with this, and I don't know why they even bothered doing this. And the only reason they lowered his overall was because, well, he hasn't been on TV for let alone nearly 2 years at this point. And as I just said before with Alexa Bliss, she's been off TV for a long time as well, and they didn't really lower her overall at all. They only just dropped it by 2 points. They only dropped hers by 2 points, but Big E, he goes down to like a straight 78. I think, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but either you leave their overalls exactly the same, or if you want to say, well, they haven't been on TV, so we should lower them, then I think everyone should get their overall lowered to at least 78 or something, instead of just saying, oh, well, Alexa, she only goes down by 2 points. I don't know, I just think that's a bit silly. Big E should not be a 78. Big E, just leave his overall at 85. Just leave his overall at 85, even though he hasn't been on TV. Blair Davenport, she has the exact same overall as her exact same overall in 2K23, which is 74. I don't agree with this whatsoever. I think her overall should have at least been buffed to at least 82. And also they gave her the exact same picture in 2K23, and she has the exact same ring attire. So they're pretty much they were pretty much lazy. They were pretty much lazy with Blair Davenport here. They didn't even bother giving her her new ring attire that she recently wears. Her black and blue, kind of like the black and blue attire that she wears now. Bobby Lashley is an 89. Respectable for him, I guess. One thing they actually added, which I think is a nice addition, I will say it is a nice addition. One of the things they added is about the paybacks. They added a lot of new paybacks, and one other thing they've talked about is that you can't just give the resiliency payback to every wrestler now. Doesn't matter what their overall is. You can't just give them the resilience. The devs mentioned that for your created characters, or just characters in general, to have the resiliency payback, they have to be at least their overall has to be at least 85 or higher, which I think is fine. I think that's a respectable. I think that's respectable. But overall, I don't really see the big deal about it. I've seen a lot of people a bit upset about that. I mean, I don't see the big deal. I mean, like, you don't want every match being drawn out. So I think that's a big improvement. But, you know, I guess it just depends on what wrestlers you feel should have the resiliency. Braun Strowman is an 82. Again, they lowered his overall, despite the fact that he hasn't been on TV for so long. The late, great Bray Wyatt, he can God rest his soul. He's a 90. They've put Bray Wyatt and all of his alter egos in the game. He blurred out the he didn't want to spoil the Bray Wyatt stuff. I mean, people know anyway, mate, so I don't know why you're trying to hide it. Okay, this is another overall I do not agree with. Braun Breaker being an 80. This is another overall I do not agree with. Why is Braun Breaker 80? I do not agree with this at all. He's been one of the... What was his overall in 2K23? Might have been 78, I think. 79, I think. Because obviously I changed some of the overalls for the wrestlers when I got 2K23. So I think he was like a 78, I think, originally. Why boost him up by 2 points? Braun Breaker should at least be 88, 89, maybe even 90. Or hell, even 91. Like, he should easily be high 80s, near 90s. Considering how much of a badass this guy is... This is not what an 80 overall... What we saw on SmackDown is not what an 80 overall wrestler would do. We saw him squash Zion Quinn in 5 seconds on SmackDown. That is not what an 80 overall wrestler would do. That is what a high 89, 90 wrestler would do. Yeah, so I do not agree with this one at all. I do not agree with Braun Breaker's... At all. I do not agree with it. I don't agree with him being weaker than most of the other side of the roster. So, Bronson Reed, he gets an 84. This is respectable, and I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about Bronson Reed's. I think 84 is a perfect overall. But if I was to increase it a little bit, I'd probably push it to at least 85 or 86. But I'm okay with 84. Brooks Jensen making his game debut. Finally, I no longer need to get a CAC version of this man. He's a 67. Don't agree with that being... I do not agree with him being a 67. I do not agree with that at all. I think he should at least be 75 at least. I don't know why they made so many of these wrestlers weak. Why did they make so many wrestlers weak in this game? I don't understand. I don't understand. Why did they make so many weak? Brutus Creed is a 78. I mean, meh, I guess. Meh. Oh, man. I don't think the community is going to be happy about Pete Dunne being known as Butch in this game. He's given a 75 overall. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why they made so many wrestlers so weak. Why did they make them so weak? Like, especially the people that have been consistently booked on TV every week. Even the ones that are on TV every week. They're just so weak. They're so low. I don't get it. I just don't get why so many people are so low overalls. If they hadn't been on TV for a while, then maybe, yeah, I'd agree with the low overall, like with Cameron Grimes here. Like, 73, like, yeah, like, I agree with that overall. Like, he hasn't been on TV. This overall I don't agree with. This overall I do not agree with. Candice LeRae was given an overall of 67. I do not agree with that at all. I think Candice LeRae should not be a 67, and I think that's a really big disservice to her. And the only reason they've given her a low overall is because how she's been booked on TV. Like, she hasn't been booked to win a lot, so in 2K's eyes, they're like, well, she's not exactly a big name, so you've got to give her a low overall. Though I don't agree with it. Carmella is given a 74, even though she's never been on TV for a long time, and they basically gave her the exact same ring attire that she had in 2K23 and a different render. I'm very disappointed in 2K. They should have at least added the brown hair. I mean, if you wanted to give her the exact same model, that's fine. If you wanted to give her the exact same model, that's fine, but at least bloody ink her hair brown, you know, to make it feel more updated, but whatever. Carmelo Hayes is an 81. This guy is one of the big focal points of NXT. Like, I'm not the biggest Carmelo fan. I'm not the biggest Carmelo Hayes guy. But how is this guy an 81 when he's like one of the bigger focal points of NXT? He should at least be like with Braun Breaker. He should at least be high 80s. He should at least be very high 80s. I do not understand why 2K make their overalls so low. Cedric Alexander is a 69. Chad Gable is an 80. I don't agree with that, really. Don't agree with Chad being an 80, but the only cool thing about his render. Shoosh. Even though he never really tells people to shush anymore. Chandler Stacks Lorenzo is a 69, and he is one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions. They gave Charlotte Flair the exact same render from her 2K23 game, and they gave her the exact same overall of 92. Why does she have the exact same overall? I don't know. And they also added her showcase attire. So I'm assuming yes, the showcase ones are going to be separate, which is stupid. Everyone's favourite because of Samantha Irvin's introduction, Chelsea Green. I'm not saying it like Samantha Irvin. She's given a 75 overall. Well, considering how much of a joke wrestler she is, I think that overall is perfectly fitting for Chelsea Green, considering how much of a joke wrestler she is. Cody Rhodes is given a 93. Come on! This dude is the main star of the cover. This is the main guy that's on the cover. He's the cover star of 2K24, and you're going to give him a 93? I mean, yeah, 93 is a very respectable overall, but he was a 92 previously. He was a 92 in the previous game, and you only buff him by 1 point? He should be easily where Bianca Belair is, 95. He should at least be up there at 95, or hell, even the strongest character in the game. Because usually, you know, the cover stars are usually given buffs because, oh, they're the main cover star. Look at Rey Mysterio. In 2K22, they gave him an incredibly high overall because he was the cover star. Don't agree. I normally wouldn't agree with someone being in the 90s, but I think he should at least be either at the same level as Roman, have the same overall as Roman, or at least maybe 95 or 96. Cora Jade is given a 74 overall. Love that render. I do not agree with Cora Jade being a 74 at all. She should be at least 83. Cruz del Toro is a 69. I mean, they've always given these guys a low overalls. Again, the LWO people, they have been heavily featured on TV. I don't know why they're given such low overalls. They've been heavily featured. They've been one of the mainstays on SmackDown, and you're going to give them a low overall? Come on! Be fair income! Be fair income, 2K. Dakota Kai is given a 78. Respectable, I guess. Damian Priest is given an 86. I mean, again, they give him a respectable overall because he's on TV every week. Damon Kemp is a 68. Dexter Lumis is 66. Again, a guy who hasn't been on TV for ages, and they gave him a low overall. Dijak 77. Should be higher. Should be higher, at least 84. Dominic Mysterio, 83. Drew Gulak is given a 70. I mean, whatever when it comes to Drew Gulak. Drew McIntyre is an 89. I guess that's respectable, I suppose. That dude Love Render looks like something you'd get from Community Creations. Duke Hudson, my boy! Finally! In a WWE 2K game! For the very first time! Finally! And I don't agree with his overall, he should be higher. 71? No. He should be way higher than that. I do not agree with that at all. He should be higher. Absolutely should be higher. Elton Prince is a 76. I mean, respectable overall for him. Eric Bischoff was given a 58. I mean, he was not a wrestler, so... He's not a wrestler, so of course. Eric, not Bischoff, the Viking Raider, given a 78. He's been given a 78. Fallon Henley is a 66. Don't agree with that, man. Why? Like, why do you always debut new wrestlers and you give them low overalls? Like, it's not like you're going to buff them and increase their overalls in the more games they're in. Fallon Henley is not a 66. Like, I get she's new to the games and all, but come on. Yeah, she's making her game debut, but come on. 66, not a good overall. Not a good overall at all. Nice to see the Fiend back in the games. I know people are going to be happy about that. I would boost Fallon Henley to at least 78. I'd boost her to at least 78. Finn Balor, 87. Works. Yeah, that works for him. That's a perfect overall for him. Gigi Dolan, 74. Again, she was in the previous game, and I think this was her overall in the previous game. Why not increase it? Why not buff it? She should at least be 80. She should at least be 80, maybe 79 at least. Giovanni Vinci, 72. Again, a guy who's featured every week and is given a low overall. What? Why? Come on, 2K. He's featured every week. Give him an 80. Why are the guys in Grayson Waller, don't agree with his overall either. Like, why are the people that are featured every week given such low ratings? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Grayson Waller, 74. Don't agree with that overall. Should be higher. Gunther, given an overall rating of 90. Obviously, I agree with that. Maybe he should be a little higher, but I will say 90 is a good overall for him. We've got a whole bunch of Hulk Hogan's that we've got to skip by. Humberto Carrillo, 65. Don't agree with that at all. I don't know why they gave him such a freaking low overall. Ilya Dragunov, 81. Why is he an 81? I don't know. Even though he's the NXT champion, I don't know. Now this one infuriates me. Indy Hartwell is given a 63. How is she a 63 in any way? What wasn't her overall 67 in 2K23? I don't know exactly what her overall was, because again, I changed the overalls when I got my hands on the Supercharger, but I believe Indy was in the 60s in 2K23. I think she might have been at least 67 or 68. But you lower her overall to 63 instead of increasing it. This is why I say the 2K ratings are stupid. And I see why people get very offended by them, but that's why the Supercharger exists, so we can change them. But this is really stupid. This woman won the NXT Women's Championship, and you're going to give her a 63 overall? She is the second weakest character. Indy Hartwell is the second weakest character out of all the women we've gone through. She is by far the weakest character in the women's division. And it's a complete joke. It's a complete joke, and it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it. Isla Dawn was given a 74. Respectable for her first game, I suppose. Ivar, 79. Ivy Nile, 73. Don't know why they lowered her overall. Her overall should be increased, but whatever. I mean, whatever. Whatever. Io Sky, 88. I guess 88's fine, but she should be 90, I feel. 88, it should be what? 88 should be Bailey's overall. Io should be 90. Or Io should be 90. Same as Oscar. JC Jane is a 73. She should be a little bit higher. She should be a little bit higher, considering she's been in a mainstay storyline with Chase University. But who am I? I'm not the developers of 2K. JD McDonough is a 71. Is a 71. Well, he is the job guy of the Judgment Day, so I guess that overall fits him naturally. Jey Uso's given a 90. I think Jey Uso was also a 90 in 2K23, so his overall didn't really change. Jimmy Uso is a 74. Is a 84. Sorry, not 74. Oh well, there's 74. Jinder Mahal. Again, LWO guys who've been featured every week, given a low overall. Wacky Wild was given an 86. Was given an 80s. Was given a 68. Sorry, I wouldn't be complaining if he was given an 80. Joe Coffey, a guy who's making his debut, is given a 60. He's given a 76 overall. Again, so silly. Joe Gacy's given a 73. He's given a 73. Something tells me 2K are going to be very, very lazy with him, and they're not going to give him a You're not giving him a new overall. Again, I don't know why people already know about the John Cena's, man. I don't know why you're covering it up. Johnny Gargano's a 74. Again, don't agree with that overall. I mean, man, how many times have I sat here, told you I don't agree with the overall? I think I've said that so many times in this video. Josh Briggs, 69. Do I need to say it? I don't agree with the overall. Julius Creed, 79. He's obviously not going to have a great overall. Carl Anderson, 72. Karrion Kross, 75. Karrion Kross's overall is basically the overall of a created wrestler when you create your wrestler for the very first time. And that's funny. Katana Chance, 74. Kaden Carter, also 74. Oh, wow, they're a tag team. They're given the exact same number. Even though Indy and Candice were both given 2 different numbers. Kevin Owens. Oh, well, he and Sami Zayn are a tag team in this game. Kevin Owens is an 86. Yeah, good overall, I suppose. Kofi Kingston is given 80. That is stupid. I don't agree with that at all. LA Knight is 88. I don't know why. Oh, they've got Lita there. She's given an 86. Liv Morgan's given an 85. Well, at least that's an improvement. This is an overall I do not agree with at all. Logan Paul given 90 overall? Really, a 90? This dude should be a 78. Ludwig Kaiser, I don't need to say it. His overall should be higher because he's been on TV every week. Luke Gallows, 73. I'm trying to speed through these as quickly as possible instead of complaining about every overall. Mark Coffey, 74. Maurice, 79. I mean, Maurice is never really given a high overall. Well, 79 is quite high. It's actually quite respectable. Maxine Dupree is a 64. Mind you, Indy Hartwell is lower than her by 1 point. And look, I love Maxine Dupree, but here's the thing. Indy Hartwell is lower than her by 1 point. Indy Hartwell is weaker than Maxine Dupree, according to 2K. Michin is a 68. The Miz is given an 81. That's probably his lowest overall ever. It's probably his lowest overall ever. I mean, he's probably been in the 70s in the old SmackDown vs. Raw games, I suppose. Montez Ford is a 76. MVP, 68. Natalia, 81. Nathan Fraser, 75. Nikki Cross is 62. Nikki Cross has the lowest overall in the women's out of the women's division of a 62. Why is Indy Hartwell the second weakest below her? I don't know. I don't know. Nikita Lyons, 73. Noam Dar, don't know why he's still in the games, but he's given a 76. Omos is a 76. Otis is a 74. Piper Niven is 79. R-Truth is 67. Randy Orton is a 91. Oh, seriously? Can people not message me while I'm recording, please? Raquel Rodriguez is an 86. Of course, she gets a high overall. Rey Mysterio is 88. And a lot of his older versions are in there. Rhea Ripley is a 96. Highest women's overall in the game. I'm definitely surprised by that. Definitely surprised they gave her the highest overall out of all the women. Ricochet, 81. Ridge Holland, 76. Robert Roode is a 67. I don't even know why they keep including him in the games. I mean, it's great that he is in the games, but I don't know why they keep including him if he's not even going to have his proper ring attire. Give him his proper ring attire, or don't include him at all. I'm just gonna say that. Either you give him his proper ring attire, or don't include him at all. That's really all I'm saying. Because they keep having him in the Dirty Dogs look when he was with Dolph Ziggler. Either you give him the proper attire, either you give him his glorious proper attire with the robes and all that, or don't include him at all. I shouldn't be wasting create a wrestler space on my community creations just to give Bobby Roode his proper attire. I'm sorry. Roman Reigns is a 97. Go figure, he's the highest overall wrestler in the game. Because of course he is. Well, we're not going to talk about the showcase stuff because I don't want to spoil any. Well, everyone would know. Everyone would know anyway. Roxanne Perez is a 78. Sami Zayn is 87. Sangar is a 71. Santos Escobar is 78. He's a part of the LWO, so he's outdated. Scarlett, for the first time, is going to be a playable character, and she's a 69 overall. She's only wrestled one match, and she has a better overall than Indy Hartwell. Let that sink in. A woman who's only wrestled one time has a better overall than Indy Hartwell. Give me a break, 2K. You should not be scaling your overalls. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. Reggie, aka Scripps, is a 61. I'm surprised they've still got him in the game. And not his teammates. You see, they wasted all this DLC space on Legends instead of just adding more people from NXT. Seth Rollins is a 93. I think that's the exact same overall he had in, I think that's exactly the same as his 2K23. So now we're going through all the showcase stuff now. Shayna Baszler is an 82. Sheamus is an 86. 84. Shinsuke Nakamura is an 84. Shotzi is a 76. Shotzi has a better overall than Indy Hartwell. That is a joke. Solo Sikoa with an 86. Sonya Deville with a 74. I mean, hell, even frickin' Stacy Keibler has a better overall than Indy Hartwell at this point. I think, basically, all the women except Nikki Cross have better overalls than Indy Hartwell. If you're not lower than Nikki Cross, then you've got a better overall than Indy Hartwell. Like, every other woman on the roster except Nikki Cross has a better overall than Indy Hartwell at this point. It's a joke. Hell, even Tamina has a better overall than Indy Hartwell. It's a joke. 67. Someone who doesn't even wrestle anymore has a better overall than someone who actively wrestles every week. Absolute joke. Tegan Nox is given a 77. I don't know how Tegan Nox got a really good overall for someone who's basically treated very similarly to Indy Hartwell, but hey, kudos to her, I guess. Thea Hale is a 72. Tiffany Stratton is a 79. Tommaso Ciampa is 76. How is Ciampa that low? Go ask 2K that question. Tony D'Angelo, 75. Trick Williams is a 78. He should be a bit higher, considering that he's one of the main focuses of NXT 2K. Trish Stratus is given an 89, of course, because she's a legend. Tyler Bay is given a 76. The New Catch Republic is born in 2K. And a lot of unlockables now. We're going through a lot of the unlockables here. And of course, they're blurring out something else from Showcase that they don't want to spoil for whatever random reason. Valhalla is a 73. Well, thank God. Thank God Indy Hartwell's got someone else to compete with. Valhalla, 73. There you go, Indy. You share the second weakest lowest rating with Valhalla. V Mahan is a 79. A 75, sorry. Wendy Chu is a 72. And no, I did not mean to rhyme when I said that. Wesley is a 76. Nice to see William Regal back. Wolfgang is 73. Cool to see William Regal back. Xavier Woods is a 78. How is he that low? I will never know. Xia Li is a 73. How is Xia Li stronger than Indy Hartwell? She should be lower. Way lower. Well, 73 is pretty respectable for her, but I'm just saying, why is Indy Hartwell like the second lowest wrestler? Second weakest character is beyond me. She shares that spot with Valhalla. Zelina Vega, probably by far my favorite out of all the newest updates, is the 74. She should be a bit higher, in my personal opinion. And then finally we got Zoe Stark at 78. And that's pretty much it. Man, the overall system in 2K24 is absolutely disgusting. And it's a disgrace. It's disgusting. It's bad. They only gave high overalls to the people that clearly they felt deserved it, instead of going off as who deserves it more if they're being featured. Sorry this video is being very long. Sorry about this video going on for a very long time, but I hope you guys did enjoy. Hit that thumbs up, give me your thoughts down below, and I will see you all next time.